From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
I'll tell you what, man. Every time you take a day off, all hell seems to break loose.
Give us a rat's ass.
From the Mojo Dojo in the Santa Monica Mountains overlooking Malibu Lake. Who is up for another alluring, action-packed adventure?
Let's do it.
Here's what's on tap on the Rap. I set X ablaze this week, and I'll tell you how I did it. Have you heard the story about the penthouse versus the outhouse? Well, you will. I've got some of the best advice you'll ever hear in your life coming up. And Tiger Woods decides to check himself before he wrecks himself again, but is it real or is it for show? Another round of head trauma is on the way. The movie mashup is on the way. Plus, our usual lunacy and loose behavior, including the angry American and what say you. And that's what's happening today on the Rat's Ass Podcast for Thursday, April 2nd. So, did you survive April Fool's Day? God, I used to love to pull pranks on the radio and fuck with people. I lived for it, man. Every year I did something different for almost 20 years. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But there was one that I got a lot of pushback on and almost got fired for it. Now, it was the one year I couldn't think of a damn thing to do. Couldn't come up with anything. Had a mental block like you wouldn't believe. About 2 minutes before going on the air, because of the pressure, the light bulb came on. And I got this bright idea, you know what, I'm just going to give the wrong time today. What harm's that going to do? But at least I'm going to be doing something. Well, it actually created dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. That's what happened. People were late for work. They didn't get the kids to school on time. All kinds of weird stuff happened. Auto accidents apparently happened. Oh, yeah. And from that one, because it was corporate radio, every year after that, they forced me to submit my plans for my April Fool's prank so it could be approved legally. Just for telling the wrong damn time. Go figure. Unbelievable. Now, the best one was when I offered up a trip to Paris and 1,000 francs. Oh, people bid on this one, hook, line, and sinker. Everybody wants to go to Paris, but nobody wants to spend money on it. Those are always the best ones, you know, when people think, ooh, I could get a free trip to Paris and they're going to give me 1,000 francs. Oh, what's that number again? It turned out to be a balloon ride to Paris, California, and $1,000. That's what it was. Didn't take any heat from that one. People actually thought it was kind of clever. Another good one, and I love this one because, you know, smart TVs became very popular. They were flying off the shelves, and one year I told people, you know, if you just bought a new smart TV, turn on the food channel and crank up the volume to about 10, and you can smell what they're cooking. Yeah, people actually bought it. And I found out later a few people returned their TVs to get refunds. They were probably liberals. All right, let's get into the rap today. As our social media continues to grow on the Rat's Ass Podcast, I'm starting to attract liberals like flies to a rib roast, and it's so easy to set these people off in orbit. Now, the question was, if an amendment to the Constitution was passed that allowed Donald Trump to run for a third term, would you vote for him? My reply was, Trump will turn 82 in 2028, so while I appreciate his contribution, no, I would not vote for him because we have two very capable leaders in J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio who will keep the Democrats out of office through 2044. Ho, ho, ho! The verbal abuse I got was incredible. Now I know what Iran feels like right now. Did you happen to see where President Trump revealed plans to build a 50-story state-of-the-art presidential library in downtown Miami on Biscayne Bay, right there on the waterfront? Yeah, it's nice, man. It's nice. It's described as a gold-decked skyscraper. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. The cost is estimated to be about $3 billion. $3 billion. Now, it'll be privately funded. Trump's probably going to kick on, you know, $1 billion of his own bucks, too. Obama's presidential library in Chicago looks like a condemned outhouse compared to Trump's. And then you got Joe Biden. He can't even raise a dime to get his built. But if you want to see the difference between what Trump builds and what Obama built, I posted a photo on our Facebook page showing the contrast between the two. You can connect at ratsasspodcast.com. The comment section alone is worth checking it out. Now, as we start to focus on high school and college graduation coming up, I thought it'd be time to share some of the best advice any young man, and any man, actually, can receive before they go on their quest for success. I think you'll enjoy it.
A man who truly wants to succeed must cut these 6 things out from the root. If he doesn't, they won't just slow him down. They'll destroy him silently. Number 1, cut off the habit of chasing women. Not every woman, the habit. It drains your time, your money, your focus, and your future. While you're busy entertaining yourself, others are busy building their empires. 2, cut off procrastination. Every "I'll do it later" eventually turns into "I wish I had started earlier." What you delay today becomes the enemy that defeats you tomorrow. 3, cut off the negative mindset. Doubt is a quiet killer. If you already believe you'll fail, you don't even need an enemy. You become your own. 4, cut off laziness. Good intentions don't pay bills. Dreams without effort die in silence. While you sleep on your potential, someone else is awake and grinding. 5, cut off your vices. Addiction is slow suicide. If you don't control your habits will end up controlling your life. 6, cut off complacency. Comfort is danger. Comfort is where potential goes to die. The moment you stop growing, you've already started declining. And here's the part most men never learn. A disciplined man is not controlled by pleasure. He is driven by purpose.
Well, that's some damn good advice. Hope you follow it. All right, Tiger Woods has gotten himself into another fine mess. Now, I'm going to recap his story because it's been well publicized. But he has agreed to go to rehab and seek help for his pill problem. The question I have, though, is he doing it because he thinks it's really going to help him, or is he doing it for the optics to make himself look responsible? I guess only time will tell. The experts say he needs to be in rehab for at least 90 days for it to work. So is he serious, or is it just for the optics? But I really find it odd that he crashed because he was looking down at his phone while trying to change a radio station. I mean, think of the optics on that. Okay, he's driving down a neighborhood street. I guess his left eye was on the phone on one hand, and while the other eye was him changing a radio station. I mean, who do you think he was, a Gen Zer for crying out loud? But it would make a great public service message, though. I mean, think of this one. This is Tiger Woods. He's 50 years old and drives like a Gen Zer. Watch as he speeds through a neighborhood looking down at his phone while he changes a radio station at the same time. Oops! There goes Tiger through the windshield. Before you get behind the wheel, you have to decide. Are you going to drive like a Gen Zer or drive like a Gen Xer? Oh, never mind. Woods, of course, is banging Trump's ex-daughter-in-law, by the way. I didn't know if you knew that or not. So he's not going to be held accountable for anything. So what's the answer here, though? I mean, nobody really wants to be on the road at the same time as Tiger Woods. I mean, is it time to put a tracker on Woods' car and have Waze, the Waze app, offer a Tiger Woods alert? I mean, all right, let's find out what has the angry Americans' panties in a bunch today. This is Tim Kramer.
I got to tell you, in the last 8 to 10 years, I have seen more propaganda than I've seen in my entire life. And the problem with it is that so many of you keep falling for it over and over and over again. And it's one particular crowd, those Q-tards. I'm going to say it out loud. I'm willing to lose the followers. I don't care anymore. The same people that battled with me for 4 years, saying that Trump was still in command. He had the military, that there were white hats working behind the scenes to get everything taken care of. These same motherfuckers are now the ones saying that Trump is in bed with Satan and Israel, and it's going to be the death of us all. Which is it? Was he in charge that entire time, or was that just one more grift you had going on? You're preaching the same thing that Democrats are preaching today. Democrats are saying the exact same thing. Joe Biden and those people that were going to make you own nothing and be happy, you're siding with them now? Well, let me remind you what they were saying, I don't know, just 4 or 5 years ago.
Iran's nuclear program is galloping forward. It is enriching at higher levels, 20%, even 60%. In small cases, it's using more advanced centrifuges. We're now down, based on published reports, to a few months. If this continues, if they continue to enrich at the levels and in the ways that they're doing, it will get down eventually to a few weeks. So that is a concrete problem. We have an interest in putting that nuclear problem back in the box because an Iran with a nuclear weapon or with the ability to produce fissile material on very short notice to get one is an Iran that's going to be an even worse actor.
Iran has rapidly accelerated its nuclear program and reduced cooperation with international inspectors. Their breakout period is down from about a year, which is what we knew it was during the deal, to just a few weeks or less.
Iran, the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism, has directly or by hiring criminals mounted assassination attempts against dissidents and high-ranking current and former U.S. officials, including right here on American soil.
The president will not tolerate attacks on American troops, and neither will I. Our teammates were killed by radical militias backed by Iran and operating inside Syria and Iraq.
Yes, it is true. Iran is closer to a nuclear weapon than ever before. If they chose to get a nuclear weapon, could probably get one within weeks.
So, which is it? Were they lying then, or are they lying now?
But wait, there is more.
I'll never understand it. I will never understand how it is possibly racist or sexist to demand ID to vote, when it's not racist or sexist to demand ID to get welfare.
Don't you just hate it when I point out the hypocrisy of the Democrats? Yeah, I'd rather refer to it as Democratic dipshittery, but it's the same thing.
He's the Swami with the uncut salami.
Oh, God.
Here's Mojo Elliott with his spin on sports on the wrap.
How do you follow that intro? Oh, my God. Here we go. We're down to the Final Four to see who becomes college basketball's next national champion. Will it be Arizona, UConn, Michigan, or Illinois? Now, so far, I'm 45-17 picking winners, and I've got Arizona beating Michigan and UConn taking down Illinois, setting up an Arizona-UConn final. But the big game is Arizona and Michigan. Before the NBA season began, ESPN released their predictions, and they predicted that Golden State would win 63 games with the best record in the NBA, totally disrespecting Oklahoma City, and Orlando would win the Eastern Conference, right? They also predicted the Lakers would win 36 games and Boston would only win 40. Yeah. The bottom line is their predictions were a joke. And you see, this is why I don't watch ESPN anymore. It's become a network full of jackasses who would rather sensationalize than rationalize, led by Stephen A. Smith, the biggest jackass in sports media. Now, everything today is all for the benefit of social media. Got to get the clicks, got to get the participation, got to get everybody worked up. This is how they make extra money. And unfortunately, the only people who respond to the rhetoric are stupid people. And that's why they have to do what they do, how they do it. And that's who plays with them. I hope it changes one day soon, but I wouldn't count on it. And that is my spin on sports on the Wrap.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, today we are playing the movie mashup. My God, I forgot. What the hell are we doing today? No, it's the movie mashup. This is where I played 3 lines from different movies, and you have to ID what movie each line is from. The category is comedies, so here we go. Listen close.
Mofo, butter laying into the bone.
Shabbat shalom, somebody circumcised.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
All right, let's do it again.
Mofo, butter laying into the bone. Jacking me up.
Shabbat shalom, somebody circumcised.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
All right, you mull that over for a few minutes, and we'll have the answer for you coming up here on the podcast. Stand by.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
As you know, I like to surf social media in search of other opinions besides mine to give you some additional perspective on issues affecting America. I found this guy on Instabitch. He calls himself the Bearded Warrior, and he's our feature today on What Say You?
Just curious, to all you that attended the No Kings rally today, first and foremost, I hope you were all safe. I hope you were able to exercise your First Amendment rights, because as an American, even though I may not agree with what you're doing, I hope you were able to do it safely and return home to your family and loved ones. Now, that being said, I did not attend a No Kings rally. This is not the uniform of somebody who would go to a No Kings rally, but I'm very curious as to what it is exactly you're protesting, because last time I checked, the history of this country, we haven't had a king since 1776. Now, I know you're going to crawl in my comments and DMs and tell me that Trump is a Nazi and a fascist and a dictator, but none of those things make him a king. So what is it that he's doing that makes him king-like? Because, hold the fuck up, Sparkles, I'm old enough to remember when Obama was in office and he forced us to get on his health care plans, and if we didn't, we were fined. I'm old enough to remember that when Obama was in office, he told us we had to trade in our older vehicles and get updated vehicles, and if we didn't, we couldn't register and drive our vehicles, and we were also fined. I'm also old enough to remember when Joe Biden was in office that they forced us to take an experimental vaccination and put something in our body that's supposed to be our body, our choice, right? That's your verbiage. And if we didn't, we couldn't see our family members, we couldn't attend church, we couldn't travel, and we lost our jobs. Now, those are the things that a dictator, a fascist, a Nazi, and a king would do to its people. Again, I don't necessarily always agree with everything Trump does, but last time I checked, he allows you to do whatever you want, whenever you want, constitutionally legal, giving you your constitutional rights to protest him and his regime, and you call him a king and a fascist and a dictator.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
All right, question here. Is dumbass Don Lemon considered to be a celebrity? Who cares? I'm going to talk about his black ass anyway. Apparently, Don thinks he'd make a better president than Donald Trump and is considering a run at the presidency in 2028. I think I could jump out of an airplane naked and without a parachute and land upright on my feet too, but it doesn't make it so now, does it? Poor Bruce Springsteen is getting mauled by social media. Yeah, you think the liberals are the only ones who do the mauling? No. Yeah, everybody else is getting after the boss for sounding like a old, haggard, washed-up curmudgeon at the No Kings rally in Minnesota last weekend. I mean, I get it. I share a birthday with this douchebag. It's embarrassing. So I never say, well, I just said it, but I really don't admit to it any other time. But you know what? I get it. I'd love to shove a cactus up his pooper too, but I've never really talked about this either, but I had to drop out of med school, another embarrassing thing. But during my time wearing the white coat, I have to say that Bruce is displaying the same behaviors of woman with menopause. Yep, the boss sounds menopausal. So maybe there is something to this idea that men can be women. Comedian actress Amy Schumer keeps posting pictures of herself wearing a bathing suit all over social media. I mean, we get it, Amy. You lost a lot of weight, and you're trying to attract some fleas here. But to be straight with you, your photo is what men carry around after taking Viagra, and they're still having problems after 4 hours, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Johnny Depp, who has been laying low since it was revealed Amber Heard dropped a deuce in his bed. Well, he's back like Captain Jack, and he was prowling booty in Hollywood recently and hooked up with a hot blonde who was ready to receive his semen. Or should I say his mateys. But ironically enough, Depp's first question to her was, excuse me, before we leave, your name's not Amber, is it?
What the hell kind of joke's that?
That's a sleazy slice of celebrity cheese for you.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
All right, you can send your questions, comments, and observations to my producer Fleabag at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com, and anything goes. The more outrageous and salacious, the better, and it is impossible to offend me. Yeah, we want salacious emails coming in. All right, Paul F., Trenton, New Jersey, said, that was an interesting conspiracy theory you laid out about Nancy Pelosi being the mastermind behind J6, but how do you explain all those MAGAs storming the Capitol? Well, it's simple, Paul. The Democrats dressed up their army of paid protesters financed by George Soros and the deep state as MAGAs, turned them loose on the Capitol. Now, I'm not saying they didn't have some MAGAs involved in the middle there. I'm sure they were mixed in, but I'm willing to bet the majority were Democrats paid protesters. That's how. Kerry Drummond, Decatur, Illinois, says, I've got a trifecta for you. 1, should Trump pull the USA out of NATO? 2, should Trump leave Iran without the oil? And 3, is it necessary for NASA to orbit the moon? Well, you're taking some liberties there, Kerry. One question per customer, but I'll do it for you. I'll answer all three. Should Trump pull the USA out of NATO? Based on their, I would say, the way that they have treated us over this whole Iran thing, yeah, I would. I would take us out of NATO. But I think the way Trump is looking at it, this is another opportunity to negotiate a better deal. He likes the deals. Hey, there's my boy Jagger in the background. It's Thursday, which means I got to go get him laid. And he's impatient as hell. Should Trump leave Iran without the oil? I think this is a big mistake. I really do. Okay. Boy, he really wants to get laid, doesn't he? Let's listen. Okay. I guess message sent. Yes. Yeah, I think it's a big mistake if we leave Iran without the oil. We've done this whole operation, and then we're going to leave. We're just going to let Russia and China, our enemies, come in and take as much oil as they want, hoard it, in case we ever get into a conflict. Best thing to do is to control the oil and sell it back or lease it back to the countries that need it. I think that's a big mistake if we leave without the oil. 3, is it necessary that NASA orbits the moon? It's not necessary, but Kerry, here's the deal. The reason we do this is to pump out our chest a little bit, to show what America is capable of. It sends a message to the rest of the world that you don't mess. You don't tug on the cape of Superman. What is it? The old Jim Croce song going back to the 70s for this one. You don't tug on Superman's cape. That's really what it's all about. This is what we're capable of. And when you're in outer space, they start thinking about, geez, how many weapons are they using in outer space to get us? So you got to look at it from that standpoint, I think. Jason Potter, Boulder, Colorado. On your last podcast, you said if Islam knocked on your door, they'd meet Mo, Larry, and Curly in something called putting shimp on the Barbie. I'm assuming Mo, Larry, and Curly is a reference to your guns, but what the hell does shimp on the Barbie mean? Well, I'll tell you what, go watch the movies Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Fried Green Tomatoes, and let's see if you can figure it out. But I'll tell you what, if the day ever comes where the Muslims approach my door, I'm going to go Luther on their stanky asses. Islam, come out and play. Islam, come out and play. Keith Williams, Winchester, Virginia. Any chance you saw Rush play with their new drummer Annika Niles? Yeah, I watched them play online, as a matter of fact. They did Working Man and Finding My Way on the Juno Awards, and I thought she was solid playing John Rutsey's beats. I want to hear her do Neil Peart's beats, though. Then that'll tell me if she's really solid or not. But it is Geddy Lee's vocals I'm a little concerned with, though. He was struggling to hit those high notes when he was in his 20s on Finding My Way. And by the way, yesterday I was just doing some research on Rush, as a matter of fact, and I didn't realize this. But Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee were 22 years old when they did the masterpiece 2112, and Neil Peart was 23. I mean, when I was 22, all I cared about was having a good radio show and partying. These guys were making history. 2112 sold, I think it was over 3 million copies worldwide, as a matter of fact. Roberta Clemens, Maple Grove, Minnesota. Oh, joy, we have a dating dilemma. Oh, we love these.
Well, isn't that special?
All right, Roberta says, my ex-boyfriend followed me and a guy I was out with to my place and barged in while we were getting it on. He grabbed the guy and threw him out naked in the street, and I was all worked up and turned on by the way he threw him out, so I had sex with him. But I noticed the guy I was out with was watching us in the window. It's been 2 weeks and neither one has called me. Should I call them and see what's up? Well, Roberta, you know what happens when you pull my middle leg, don't you? Huh? Yeah, grab it tight and yank it. I think you're a liar. And your panties are on fire. But in the event this was a true story, if it's been 2 weeks, you still have an ex-boyfriend, and the date is like going, oh, Christ, I don't need this. Get me the hell out of here.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, the name of the game is the movie mashup. I gave you 3 lines from 3 different movies, and you have to ID the movies they're from. The category is comedies. So listen one more time. I'm going to hit you with them.
Mofo, butter laying me to the bone, jacking me up.
Ooh, Shabbat Shalom, somebody's circumcised.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
I love that smelly pirate hooker. All right, if you said airplane, horrible bosses, and Anchorman.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, you got it right. But if you missed it, go see a doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. I got to fly. I volunteered to film a ladies' naked twister contest at the Senior Rec Center today, and I'm expecting a lot of roast beef.
That's just about enough of that.
But first, is this real or is it riffraff? Did you know there is an actual fear of having a phobia? It's called phobophobia. Alexa, is this real or is it riffraff?
Add it to the fear list, Mojo. It's 100% true.
Here to help with product information and answers to your questions. If you have any specific queries about products,
I don't know what she's talking about. Do you?
let me know.
I think Alexa just short-circuited. Alexa, if there is a phobia for phobias, is there one for you? Because I think you just caught it.
If there is, I wish you'd catch it.
You wish I would catch it. Maybe I should just look into Alexa Plus. Would you like that? Yeah, that's what I thought. Welcome to Rat Nation. Patty Ireland in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. Gregory Addison, Lubbock, Texas. Shane McCullough, Boise, Idaho, and Danny Patterson in Fresno, California. And to listeners around the world in London, England, Sussex Inlet, Australia, and Oslo, Norway. I got to look into Alexa. Something happened.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
I might have to call 411 or something like that. All right, that's it for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Go to ratsasspodcast.com to visit our hub and listen to previous episodes. Read the blog. It's loaded with lots of hot topicality. Watch Rat's Ass, Rock TV. Join the mischief at Rat Nation and connect with us on the socials. We'll do this again on Monday, April 6th. Take care of each other and wipe each other's buttholes. And thanks for stopping by the Rat's Ass Podcast in association with the Oz Podcast Group.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.